It's Tuesday, January 20th.
People understand that there's a lot of things going on.
Geopolitical uncertainties underscore Canada's need to look outside the U.S. for investment as Prime Minister Mark Carney gets started at the World Economic Forum in Davos.
Because the boat went there 500 years ago and then left, that doesn't give you title to property.
U.S. President Donald Trump will face world leaders at Davos about his plans to take over Greenland.
I saw these two snowman shields, and I wanted to make my own snowman.
Digging out, diving in, and of course, building snowmen. A winter storm brought piles of snow to the Maritimes, many still without power.
My main concern as an emergency physician is healthcare system capacity.
And can Canada's healthcare system handle an influx of World Cup soccer fans this summer? Some doctors are concerned. Stay with us, Canada. Your morning starts right now. Good morning, Canada. Welcome to Your Morning. I'm Anne-Marie Mediwake.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Lindsey Deluce.
I'm Kelsey McEwen. Happy Tuesday.
Let's jump into what's happening in Davos. Prime Minister Mark Carney and the Canadian delegation are there this morning to pitch Canadian investment. We know that. And this is all happening as global tensions lurk in the background.
What people would want to see from Canada is talking to our allies, which we're doing, and making sure that we adopt the principled position.
So that's Finance Minister François-Philippe Champagne speaking to reporters. U.S. President Donald Trump is set to speak to the forum tomorrow. Reports say he wants to hold a signing ceremony at Davos for his Gaza Board of Peace, which may include Russian President Vladimir Putin. Minister Champagne says Canada is weighing its invitation but won't pay to join. Prime Minister Mark Carney will meet with the French President Emmanuel Macron a little later on this morning.
Full solidarity with Greenland and the Kingdom of Denmark. The sovereignty and integrity of their territory is non-negotiable.
The president of the European Commission pledging support for Greenland during a special address at the World Economic Forum this morning. Despite the pushback, Ursula von der Leyen did say Europe is on the same page as the U.S. when it comes to Arctic security, which can only be achieved together. Meanwhile, the U.S. president says only the U.S. can protect Greenland.
Well, I don't think they're going to push back too much. Look, we have to have it. They have to have this done. They can't protect it.
President Trump says he plans to speak with European leaders about Greenland at the Economic Forum. He also shared a text. Here it is from the French president. It says, quote, "We are totally in line on Syria. We can do great things on Iran. I do not understand what you are doing on Greenland," end quote. Greenland is hosting planned military exercises right now as Canada weighs its decision to join.
Trump is taking it as a message, and perhaps, unspoken, the allies will think of that as a way of changing Trump's risk calculus.
A source tells CTV News Canada is considering sending a small number of troops to Greenland, and if that happens, it would be fewer than a dozen soldiers as a show of support for European allies. Canada, as part of NORAD with the U.S., will send an aircraft to Greenland as part of planned activities. Meanwhile, Churchill, Manitoba is in the spotlight as the dispute over Greenland ramps up.
There is only one port and one rail line that feeds the Arctic, and that would be absolutely essential for us to maintain sovereignty in Canada's Arctic, and that is at Churchill, and that is in Manitoba.
Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew saying the growing tension over Greenland is more reason to have a fully developed port in the town of Churchill. The current port and rail line on the western shore of Hudson Bay are the only facilities that feed into the Arctic. Premier Kinew says there is only a short ice-free season for the port, and the long rail line through remote terrain, it needs upgrading. In November, Prime Minister Carney did confirm funding for a study on the potential specialized icebreakers, ice tugs, and research vessels at the port. In other news today, there are still thousands of people in Nova Scotia waking up without power this morning following yesterday's heavy snowstorm.
We definitely understand that power outages can be frustrating for customers. We know that in this event, the heavy, wet snow has stuck to trees and it's caused them to come into contact with our power lines.
As of this morning, nearly 25,000 customers are without power. Nova Scotia power crews have been working around the clock, battling the downed wires, the scattered outages. At the peak of this storm, 140,000 customers lost power. That's about 25% of the utility's customer base. Some areas of Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island were closed, which gave students a chance to have a little fun.
I saw my dad doing the driveway, so I came out after eating, and then I helped him for a little bit, and then I started playing with my toys to make a tunnel for them.
So fun. While many people were digging out, others were diving in. Some people who were left without power found pretty creative ways to pass the time, getting together, for example, to build snowmen. Temperatures are expected in the region over the next several days. Cold temperatures, meaning the snow and icy conditions will stick around. And in Ontario, the temperature has plunged and there are snow squall warnings this morning. Some areas could see 10 to 25 centimeters of snow, along with reduced visibility, blowing snow this afternoon. But the main story is the bitter cold. In Toronto, it will feel like minus 24 this morning. Some areas of Ontario will feel wind chill values near minus 45.
Waiting for the bus is chilly, and I can't wait to get in, but the buses have been on time.
Oh, she looks cold. The cold weather gripping Manitoba as well. Following a weekend of winter storms, the temperature across the province has been dropping, and it's only going to get colder as the week goes on. In Winnipeg on Friday, it's expected to feel like minus 35, and then even colder on the weekend. Kels, of course, will have more coming up. Hosting FIFA World Cup games this summer has some doctors pretty worried as Canada deals with an already overburdened healthcare system.
At the Lapu Lapu Festival last year, the shooting that occurred at the Raptors parade, and working in the emergency department those nights in the World Series, I was just holding my breath, hoping that nothing like that happened because we had so little capacity.
Dr. Catherine Varner says there are serious vulnerabilities in the healthcare system that need to be addressed before thousands of soccer fans arrive in Toronto and Vancouver. In a separate risk assessment, Public Health Ontario is warning that measles, foodborne illness, and COVID-19 pose moderate health risks for the World Cup events. Some Toronto City councillors are now calling on the province and Ottawa to help with the added cost. Canada's first match of the FIFA World Cup is happening on June the 12th. It is called The Greatest Show on Snow. Skijoring is back at Banff as part of its annual Snow Days Festival. For people who don't know, this is a mix of horseback riding and skiing. This is the fourth year Banff has hosted the event. People love it. It's been a hit every time. It looks like a lot of fun. Look at that. So fun.
Bad landing.
Woo! Yeah.